Billionaire gave out 4 black credit cards to test 4 women. What the janitor brought left him speechless. Nathan Pierce stood frozen in his penthouse office, his hands gripping the edge of his mahogany desk so hard his knuckles turned white. 4 computer screens glowed in front of him, each showing security footage and transaction records from the past 3 weeks. His eyes moved from screen to screen, and what he saw made his heart pound in his chest. On the first screen, Beverly Torres laughed with her assistant while pointing at a middle-aged woman leaving her boutique empty-handed. The audio was clear. Can you believe she thought she could afford anything here? Some people need to know their place. On the second screen, Grace Wilson sat in a luxury car, counting cash. The transaction record below showed she'd withdrawn $15,000 to pay for something off the books, something she didn't want tracked. On the third screen, Priya Kapoor filmed herself on a yacht, surrounded by champagne bottles and designer bags, telling her followers that the universe rewards those who believe in abundance. She never mentioned that every single item around her was bought with someone else's money. But it was the fourth screen that made Nathan's hands shake. It showed a small, dimly lit basement in his office building. There, Dolores Martinez, a 23-year-old janitor, sat on an overturned bucket during her break. She was counting crumpled dollar bills from her own wallet, trying to figure out if she had enough to buy medicine for her sick grandmother. Beside her, untouched and forgotten on her cleaning cart, was the black credit card Nathan had given her 3 weeks ago. The transaction record showed a number that stunned him: $5,950 spent, every single penny on other people, not 1 cent on herself. Nathan felt tears fill his eyes. In 3 weeks, 3 wealthy, beautiful young women had shown him exactly who they were, and 1 humble janitor had shown him something he thought no longer existed in this world. 3 weeks earlier, Nathan sat alone in his massive penthouse on the night of his 58th birthday. The floor-to-ceiling windows showed the glittering city below, but he barely noticed. Around him were expensive paintings, designer furniture, and shelves full of awards. But the place felt cold and empty. His phone buzzed with birthday messages from people he barely knew: business partners, distant relatives, people who wanted something from him. He ignored them all. His assistant knocked softly and entered. "Sir, I have the list you requested. 43 women have contacted our offices this month, trying to arrange meetings with you. 37 more have sent messages through social media. Most claim they want to discuss business opportunities." Nathan laughed bitterly. Business opportunities. Is that what they're calling it now? His assistant hesitated. "Sir, if I may, it's been 3 years since Mrs. Pierce passed. Perhaps it's time to consider meeting new people." "Time to what?" Nathan interrupted. "Time to let another person pretend to care about me while they really care about my bank account? I'm tired. Tired of fake smiles. Tired of wondering if anyone would give a damn about Nathan Pierce if Nathan Pierce was broke." That night, sitting in the darkness, an idea came to him. What if he could test people? Really test them? Give them access to unlimited money and see what they did with it. Would they show kindness or greed? Generosity or selfishness? Would anyone prove that good people still existed? Nathan spent the next week planning. He would choose 4 young women, 3 who clearly wanted access to wealthy men, and 1 random person who had no idea who he was. He would give each of them a black credit card with no spending limit. They could use it for anything they wanted for 1 month, but he would be watching everything. He chose carefully. Beverly Torres, the 28-year-old fashion designer who ignored everyone at charity events unless they wore expensive jewelry. Grace Wilson, the 26-year-old real estate agent who only approached rich-looking men and handed out business cards at every opportunity. Priya Kapoor, the 29-year-old influencer who posted about manifesting wealth while tagging rich men's companies in her photos. And then there was Dolores Martinez. Nathan didn't know her name at first. She was simply the young woman he sometimes saw mopping floors late at night when he worked past midnight. She never looked up, never asked for anything, never even seemed to notice him. She was perfect. Someone who would never expect such a gift and had no idea how wealthy he really was. Over 1 week, Nathan approached each woman with the same story. He was conducting a research project about generosity and financial freedom. He wanted to give them a black card for 1 month, to see what they would do with unlimited money. No strings attached, no expectations, just freedom. Beverly's eyes lit up like fireworks. "Oh my God, seriously? This is amazing." Grace smiled slowly, already calculating. "What an interesting project. I'd love to participate." Priya squealed and hugged him. "This is literally a dream come true." Dolores looked terrified. She tried to push the card back into his hands. "Sir, there must be a mistake. I'm just a janitor. I can't accept this." But Nathan insisted. Finally, she took it with shaking hands. Nathan returned to his office and told his head of security one thing. "Let the test begin. I want to know who these women really are." If you're enjoying this story, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories that will touch your heart. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Comment below what you think will happen next. Nathan sat in his office early Monday morning, sipping black coffee as he opened the first reports from his security team. His heart raced with anticipation. The test had officially begun, and he was about to discover who these 4 young women really were. The first report made his stomach turn. Beverly Torres had used the black card within 2 hours of receiving it. She spent $47,000 at a designer store in one shopping trip. The receipt showed handbags, shoes, dresses, and jewelry, all for herself. The security footage showed her laughing with the store clerk, saying, "I finally found someone who understands my worth." Nathan shook his head and opened the second report. Grace Wilson had been almost as fast. Within 24 hours, she booked a $15,000 suite at a 5-star hotel downtown. When the investigator called the hotel pretending to confirm the reservation, the manager mentioned Grace had requested champagne, caviar, and told the staff she was celebrating a new business partnership. She was already using Nathan's generosity to impress people and boost her own image. The third report was about Priya Kapoor. Nathan leaned forward, reading carefully. Priya had spent $30,000 in her first week. She rented a luxury yacht, hired a professional photographer, and bought designer clothes for a photo shoot. Her social media exploded, with new posts showing her expensive lifestyle. Every photo had captions about manifestation, abundance, and how the universe rewards positive thinking. Not once did she mention that someone had given her the money. Her followers thought she had earned it all herself. Then Nathan opened the fourth report, and his hands stopped moving. Dolores Martinez hadn't used the card at all. For 6 full days, the transaction record showed $0 spent. Nothing. His investigator had checked on her and found the black card sitting on her small kitchen table in her tiny apartment, untouched. When asked why, Dolores had whispered, "It must be a mistake. Things like this don't happen to people like me. I'm scared to use it." Nathan felt something twist in his chest. While 3 young women were spending his money like water, treating it as if they deserved it, one girl was too humble and frightened to even try. He decided to visit each woman personally, to observe them more closely. He would disguise himself as different people to see how they really behaved when they thought no one important was watching. His first stop was Beverly's boutique. Nathan dressed casually and entered the store, pretending to browse. Beverly was helping a wealthy-looking customer, showering her with compliments and attention. Then a middle-aged woman in simple clothes walked in, looking nervous. She approached Beverly and asked about a dress in the window. Beverly barely looked at her. "That dress is $1,200. Do you want to see our clearance section instead? The woman's face turned red. No, I wanted to see that one. I'm celebrating something special. Beverly sighed loudly and rolled her eyes at her assistant when she thought the woman wasn't looking. Fine, but please don't try it on if you're not seriously going to buy it. We just had it cleaned. The woman left without buying anything, her eyes wet with tears. Nathan watched Beverly return to her wealthy customer, laughing about people who waste her time. His jaw clenched with anger. Next, he visited Grace Wilson. He posed as a potential investor and met her at an expensive restaurant. Grace spent the entire lunch talking about money, properties, and success. When their waiter accidentally knocked over an empty glass while refilling water, Grace snapped at him. Can you be more careful? Do you even know how to do your job? The young waiter apologized repeatedly, his face burning with embarrassment. Grace didn't tip him when they left. Nathan noticed everything. That evening, Nathan went to observe Priya Kapoor at a club where she was hosting a party. The party was expensive and flashy, paid for entirely with his card. Priya posed for photos constantly, making sure every angle was perfect. A young girl approached her nervously, saying Priya's posts had inspired her to believe in herself. Priya smiled for a quick photo, but barely listened to the girl's words. As soon as the photo was taken, she turned away, checking how it looked on her phone. The young fan stood there for a moment, realizing Priya didn't actually care, then walked away looking hurt. Nathan felt sick. These three women were beautiful on the outside, but their actions revealed something ugly inside. Finally, he visited Dolores during her late-night shift at his building. He found her in the basement, scrubbing floors that most people never even saw. She worked hard, humming softly to herself, completely unaware he was watching. Nathan approached her gently. Dolores, I wanted to ask about the card I gave you. You haven't used it. She looked up, startled and worried. I'm sorry, sir. I've been thinking about it every day. But nothing in life is free. I keep wondering what the catch is. Why would someone give me this? I'm just a janitor. Her honesty hit Nathan like a punch. There's no catch. I told you, it's for a research project. Please, use it for whatever you need. Dolores bit her lip, thinking, if I use it, can I use it for something really important? Not for me, but for people who need help? Nathan nodded, curious. You can use it however you want. She smiled shyly. Then maybe I will. Thank you, sir. Nathan returned to his office that night and reviewed all his notes. Beverly had now spent $86,000. Grace had spent $73,000. Priya had spent $95,000, all on themselves, all without gratitude, all while treating others poorly. Dolores had spent $0, but was thinking about using the money to help people in need. For the first time in years, Nathan smiled, with real hope. Nathan couldn't sleep that night. He kept thinking about what he'd witnessed. 3 young women spending money like it meant nothing, treating people badly, caring only about themselves. And 1 young janitor who was afraid to even touch the card because she thought she didn't deserve it. He decided it was time to create real tests, situations that would show him, beyond any doubt, what kind of people these women truly were. The next morning, Nathan called his security chief and explained his plan. They would set up specific scenarios for each woman, moments that would reveal their true character when they thought nobody important was watching. For Beverly, Nathan hired a young actress to enter her boutique, dressed in old, worn-out clothes. The actress carried a plastic grocery bag instead of a designer purse. She was instructed to tell Beverly that her mother had just died and left her a large inheritance. She wanted to buy a whole new wardrobe, but didn't know where to start. Nathan watched from a coffee shop across the street as the actress entered Beverly's store. Through the window, he could see everything. Beverly looked the young woman up and down with disgust on her face. Even from across the street, Nathan could read Beverly's body language. She didn't offer the woman a seat, didn't offer her water, didn't offer to help. His investigator, wearing hidden cameras inside the store, recorded the conversation. Beverly's voice was cold. "I think you'd be happier at a discount store. This boutique caters to a specific clientele. Our cheapest item is $800. The actress, playing her role perfectly, said, "Money isn't a problem. My mother left me quite a bit. I just need help choosing quality pieces." Beverly laughed. "Honey, quality isn't just about money. It's about knowing what belongs in your world. Maybe start somewhere more, your speed, and work your way up." The actress left, and Nathan's investigator confirmed what he suspected. Beverly had just turned away what would have been a $50,000 sale because she judged someone by their appearance. She cared more about looking exclusive than actually helping people. The next test was for Grace Wilson. Nathan arranged for an elderly man, actually a retired actor he hired, to approach Grace at a coffee shop. The man was instructed to say his late wife had owned a beautiful house, and he needed to sell it, but didn't trust real estate agents. However, something about Grace seemed kind and honest. Nathan sat 3 tables away, pretending to read a newspaper, but listening to everything. Grace's entire face changed when she heard about the house. Her smile became huge. Her voice turned sweet like honey. "Oh, you poor thing," she said, touching the old man's hand. "Losing your wife must be so hard. Let me help you. I can get this handled quickly. In fact, I have paperwork in my car. We can start right now." The old man hesitated. "I'd like to pray about it first, and maybe talk to my children." Grace's smile disappeared instantly. Her voice turned sharp. "Sir, the real estate market moves fast. If you wait, you'll lose money. God helps people who take action. Praying is great, but so is being smart." The old man stood up slowly, looking uncomfortable. "I think I need more time." After he left, Nathan heard Grace curse under her breath. "Waste of my time. Old people and their superstitions could have made $15,000 in commission." Nathan felt anger burn in his chest. Grace pretended to be kind, but only cared about money. She used people's grief and confusion to pressure them into decisions. The third test was for Priya Kapoor. Nathan arranged for a young college student, a real girl struggling to pay for school, to approach Priya at a restaurant. The girl had been told to say that Priya's social media posts inspired her to keep trying even when life was hard. She wanted advice on how to succeed without money for college. Nathan sat at the bar, watching. Priya's face lit up when she saw the girl approach. "Oh my God, a fan! Yes, let's take a selfie." They posed together, and Priya made sure her expensive jewelry was visible in the photo. Then the girl started asking her questions. "How did you make it when you didn't have money? What real steps did you take?" Priya's smile became plastic. "Oh, just manifest your dreams. Believe in abundance. The universe provides for those with positive energy. You've got to want it bad enough." The girl looked confused. "But like actual steps? Did you work certain jobs? Take classes? How did you start?" Priya was already looking at her phone, editing the selfie. "Just keep that positive energy, babe. Believe and achieve." She posted the photo with hashtags about inspiring youth, then turned away from the girl without even asking her name. The student stood there for a moment, realizing Priya had no real advice to give. All her posts about success were empty words. She left looking disappointed. Nathan paid his bill and stepped outside, feeling disgusted. These 3 women were frauds. Beautiful on the outside, empty on the inside. But then his phone buzzed. It was a report about Dolores Martinez. She had finally used the card. Nathan's heart raced as he opened the message. Dolores had spent $3,200 to fix the roof of her grandmother's church. Then she spent $1,800 buying groceries for 3 families in her neighborhood who had lost their jobs. Then she spent $950 paying for her coworker's medical prescription because the woman was skipping her medicine to afford rent. Every single purchase was for someone else, not one thing for herself. Nathan sat in his car and stared at the report for a long time. 3 wealthy young women had spent over $250,000 combined on themselves, their image, and their pleasure. One poor janitor had spent less than $6,000, and every penny went to helping people who were suffering. He had his answer, but the test wasn't over yet. Nathan sat in his office the following Monday morning, staring at the reports spread across his desk. 3 weeks had passed since he gave out the 4 black cards. Beverly had spent $112,000. Grace had spent $98,000. Priya had spent $135,000. Dolores had spent $5,950. But the numbers didn't tell the whole story. It was what happened next that would reveal everything. Nathan picked up his phone and called his lawyer and head of security. "I need you to spread a rumor," he said quietly. "I want everyone in the city to hear that Nathan Pierce has gone bankrupt. My company's collapsed. I'm broke and desperate. Make it believable." His lawyer hesitated. "Sir, that could damage your reputation." "Do it," Nathan said firmly, "and make sure all 4 women hear about it." By that evening, the rumor was everywhere. Nathan's team had planted stories on gossip websites and whispered in the right social circles. Nathan Pierce, billionaire, had lost everything in bad investments. He was finished. Nathan also instructed his bank to decline all 4 black cards, making it seem like his accounts had been frozen. Then he waited to see what would happen. Beverly heard the news first. She was at a fashion event when another designer mentioned it. "Did you hear about Nathan Pierce? Completely bankrupt. Lost everything." Beverly's face went pale. She excused herself and immediately tried to use the black card at the bar. Declined. She tried again. Declined. Her hands started shaking. She pulled out her phone and called Nathan's number. It went straight to voicemail. Within an hour, Beverly posted on social media, "Does anyone have contact information for Nathan Pierce? He owes me money for consulting work." She never mentioned the free card. She never mentioned his generosity. By the next morning, she was telling everyone at her boutique that Nathan had used her and taken advantage of her time and expertise. Grace heard the rumor from another real estate agent. She laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. Then she tried the card at a restaurant. Declined. Her laughter stopped immediately. Grace called Nathan's office 15 times that day. Each call went to voicemail. She left messages that started polite, but became angrier with each one. By the 5th message, she was yelling, "You owe me for the business opportunities I turned down because of you. I'm calling my lawyer." By the end of the week, Grace had actually hired a lawyer and started drafting a lawsuit for emotional distress and loss of potential earnings. She told all her clients that her former business partner had betrayed her trust. Priya discovered the news through a celebrity gossip website. The headline read, "Tech billionaire Nathan Pierce bankrupt after failed investments." Priya screamed and threw her phone across her apartment. She tried the card immediately. Declined. She tried to call Nathan. No answer. Within 2 hours, Priya had posted 3 videos on social media. In the first video, she cried about being scammed by a con artist. In the second video, she claimed Nathan had promised her a business partnership and that she had turned down other opportunities because of him. In the third video, she called him a fraud and warned her followers to stay away from fake rich people who manipulate innocent girls. Her comment sections exploded with people calling Nathan a criminal and demanding he be arrested. Priya's followers grew by 50,000 in 2 days. She was using the situation to make herself look like a victim and gain more attention. Nathan watched all of this from his office, his face hard and cold. These three young women showed their true colors the moment they thought his money was gone. Not one of them showed concern for him. Not one asked if he was okay. They only cared about what they had lost. Then his assistant knocked on the door. "Sir, there's something you need to see. It's about Dolores Martinez." Nathan's heart raced. He pulled up the security footage from his building. Dolores was talking to another janitor in the break room. The other janitor was showing her the gossip website on her phone, the article about Nathan going bankrupt. Dolores read it slowly, her hand covering her mouth. Then she tried to use the card to buy lunch from a vending machine. Declined. She stared at the card for a long moment, then put it back in her pocket. Nathan expected her to be angry, expected her to complain, expected her to feel cheated. But what Dolores said next made Nathan's eyes fill with tears. "I knew it was too good to be true," she said quietly to the other janitor. "I just hope Mr. Pierce is okay. He seemed like such a kind man. He must be going through something really difficult right now. I should pray for him." The other janitor looked confused. "Pray for him? Girl, he gave you a fake card. Aren't you mad?" Dolores shook her head. "No, he gave me a chance to help people when I never could before. Because of that card, Mrs. Chen got her medicine. The church got a new roof. The Rodriguez family had food for their kids. I got to do good things. That was a gift, even if it's over now. I'm grateful." She paused, then added, "I'm more worried about him than about me. Losing everything must be so scary. I know what it's like to have nothing. Nobody should go through that alone." Nathan had to pause the video because he couldn't see through his tears. This young woman, who had so little, who had just lost access to unlimited money, wasn't angry. She was worried about him. She was grateful for the brief chance to help others. She was praying for his well-being. That evening, Nathan sat alone in his office. As the sun set over the city, he had his answer. Three wealthy, beautiful young women had revealed themselves to be selfish, ungrateful, and cruel the moment his money disappeared. One poor janitor had revealed herself to be kind, grateful, and compassionate, even when she lost everything. But Nathan wasn't finished yet. There was one more thing he needed to know. He picked up his phone and made a call. "I'm going to visit Dolores tonight. Prepare everything. Tomorrow, the truth comes out." Nathan stood up and looked at his reflection in the window. For the first time in 3 years, he felt something he thought he'd lost forever. Hope that good people still existed in the world. And he was about to reward the only person who deserved it. Nathan stood outside his office building at 11 o'clock that night. The lights were mostly off, except for the basement level where the janitorial staff worked. His heart pounded as he took the elevator down. He carried a large envelope in his hands and wore a simple suit. Tonight, everything would be revealed. He found Dolores in the storage room, organizing cleaning supplies. She looked tired, her hair pulled back in a ponytail, her uniform wrinkled from a long day of work. When she saw him, her eyes widened with surprise and concern. "Mr. Pierce," she said, dropping the mop she was holding. "Sir, are you okay? I heard about what happened. I'm so sorry about your troubles." Nathan felt his throat tighten. Even now, thinking he was broke, she was worried about him. "Dolores, can we talk for a moment?" She nodded quickly and led him to the small break room. They sat at a plastic table under flickering fluorescent lights. Dolores fidgeted with her hands, looking nervous. "I wanted to thank you," she said softly, "for the card. Even though it only worked for a little while, I got to help people I never could have helped before. That meant everything to me." "What did you do with the money?" Nathan asked, though he already knew. Dolores smiled. "I fixed my grandmother's church roof. It had been leaking for 2 years. I bought groceries for families in my building who lost their jobs. I paid for my friend's medicine so she wouldn't have to choose between eating and being healthy. She paused, her eyes bright. For the first time in my life, I had the power to make people's lives better. That was the most amazing feeling in the world. You didn't buy anything for yourself? Nathan asked. Not even one thing? Dolores shook her head. I thought about it. I saw a pretty dress once. But then I thought about Mrs. Rodriguez and her 3 kids eating rice and beans for every meal. The dress didn't seem important anymore. She looked down at her worn shoes. Besides, I'm used to having nothing. But those families aren't. They needed help more than I needed a dress. Nathan had to look away because tears were forming in his eyes. He took a deep breath and turned back to her. Dolores, I need to tell you something. Everything you heard about me going bankrupt, it was a lie. Dolores looked confused. What do you mean? I'm not broke, Nathan said. I never was. The whole thing was a test. He spent the next 10 minutes explaining everything. The 4 black cards, the other 3 women, the investigators, the fake bankruptcy, all of it. Dolores listened with her hand over her mouth, her eyes growing wider with each word. I wanted to find one genuine person in a world full of fake people, Nathan said. I gave 4 young women unlimited money to see what they would do with it. 3 of them spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on themselves. They treated people terribly, and when they thought I was broke, they turned on me immediately. They called me a con artist. They threatened to sue me. They posted lies about me online. But you, he continued, his voice shaking with emotion, you spent less than $6,000, and every penny went to helping others. When you thought I lost everything, you weren't angry. You were worried about me. You prayed for me. You were grateful for the brief chance to do good. Dolores's eyes filled with tears. I don't understand. Why would you test people like this? Because I needed to know if good people still existed, Nathan said simply. My wife died 3 years ago. Since then, I've been surrounded by people who only see my money. I forgot that there were still people in the world who cared about things that actually matter. You reminded me. He slid the envelope across the table. Open it. With shaking hands, Dolores opened the envelope. Inside was a check for $5 million. She gasped and tried to push it back to him. No, sir, I can't take this. This is too much. I didn't do anything special. I just did what anyone should do. That's exactly the point, Nathan said, gently pushing the check back to her. You did what anyone should do, but almost nobody does. You have a pure heart, Dolores. In a world full of people who pretend to be good, you actually are good. This isn't charity. This is me investing in the only thing that matters anymore. Real human kindness. Dolores started crying. I don't know what to say. There's more, Nathan continued. I'm paying off your grandmother's house. I'm setting up college funds for any children you have in the future. And I'm creating a foundation in your name to help working families in poverty. You're going to run it because you understand what struggling people actually need. Why? Dolores whispered. I'm nobody. I'm just a janitor. Nathan reached across the table and took her hand. You're not just anything. You're the most special person I've met in years. 3 wealthy women showed me the worst of humanity. You showed me the best. The next morning, Nathan called Beverly, Grace, and Priya to his office separately. He revealed the truth about the test and told each of them exactly what they had shown him about their character. Beverly left in shame. Grace left in fury. Priya tried to film the confrontation until Nathan's lawyers threatened legal action for her defamatory videos. Within days, the story spread across the city. The media called it the 4 black card test. Beverly's boutique lost customers. Grace lost clients. Priya lost followers when people realized she had lied about being scammed. But Dolores, who never wanted attention, became quietly famous for all the right reasons. The foundation in her name helped thousands of families. She continued working because, as she told Nathan, sitting around never helped anybody. 6 months later, Nathan hosted a small dinner at his penthouse. Not a fancy party, but a simple meal with Dolores and her family. They ate homemade food and laughed like old friends. As Nathan watched Dolores help her little sister with homework and listened to her talk about the families the foundation had helped that week, he thought about his late wife. She would have loved Dolores. She always told him that real treasure wasn't money or status. It was finding people with pure hearts. That night, after everyone left, Nathan opened his computer and looked at a video file saved on his desktop. Security footage from the night Dolores found out he was bankrupt. He watched her face as she read the news, saw her try the card and have it decline, heard her tell the other janitor that she was praying for him and hoping he was okay. He opened a new document and began updating his will. The bulk of his fortune would go to the foundation to continue Dolores's work long after he was gone. Nathan Pierce had spent 3 weeks and hundreds of thousands of dollars testing 4 young women. 3 of them taught him that beautiful people can have ugly hearts. 1 of them taught him the most important lesson of his life. True wealth isn't measured by what you have. It's measured by what you do for others when you have the chance. And the richest person in the world isn't the one with the most money. It's the one with the kindest heart. Dolores had given Nathan something worth more than all his billions combined. She gave him back his faith in humanity. And that was priceless. If you loved this story, please smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more incredible, heartwarming tales. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our next upload. Comment below what lesson this story taught you. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message today. Thank you for watching, and remember, true wealth is in the heart, not the wallet.